everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Bookish Blonde. So on this beautiful Wednesday, I have some witchy read recommendations for you. So I have these in 3 different piles. One pile, which is the biggest one, are books that I own on my shelves that I've read and highly recommend. Then I have 2 out from the library that I'm hoping to get to this fall season. And I have 4 that are on my radar to read this fall that I've not read, but are interesting enough for me to have purchased them and put them on my shelves. And I just thought it was the perfect time. I'm hoping to get one out about vampires too, because out of the spooky season, witches and vampires are my favorite. Now, I love those types of books so much, I will read them year round. I also really like paranormal spooky books, but I'm a little more picky on those because there's only certain authors that I've read, in my opinion, that like give me what I'm looking for when I pick up a paranormal book. But anyways, let's just get started. So the first stack we're going to talk about are the books that I've read. The first 2 are actually young adult. It's by Rachel Griffin. The first one is The Nature of Witches. I realize that some of these have been talked about on my channel before, but these also fit the video. So I have shown these before. They are so gorgeous. The naked hardcovers are just beautiful. This one is, they were both very good, these 2, but my favorite, so I have Wild is the Witch and The Nature of Witches. I like this one a little bit more, but they were so good. The Nature of Witches just really took me by surprise. We're following Clara, who is a witch, and in this story, for centuries, witches have kept the maintained the climate in the world we live in, but the control around the weather is faltering and becoming very erratic. So all the hope lies within Clara, whose rare magic is tied to every season. So you get magic of every season in here, which was done so well. I thought it was so creative. In autumn, Clara wants nothing to do with her power. It's wild, it's volatile, and the price of her magic, losing the one she loves, is too high, despite the need to control the increasingly dangerous weather. Then in winter, the world is on the clasp of disaster. We have storms that are raging, fires that are burning, and Clara finally accepts that she's the only one who can make a difference. In spring, she falls in love with the witch that's training her, and as her magic grows, so does her feelings for him. And then in summer, Clara must choose between her power and her happiness, her duty and her people she loves, before she loses everything. So I believe this was a debut for this author. I could be wrong, but this can be absolutely adored by adults, even though it's YA. I'm trying to get my daughter to read it because I think she would really like it, but she is not listening to me. But it was really cool to see what the magic did. I really liked the characters. The love story was very sweet, and this just completely took me away to another world. I was fully engrossed in this story when I read it. Highly recommend. Check it out if you haven't. Very good. Then Wild is the Witch, another, I think I gave this one 4 stars and The Nature of Witches 5 stars. Here is the naked cover on this one. So pretty, all these purples, all these plants. In this one, the main character, they're complete. You can read these completely separate. It's not a series or anything. This one is a more contemporary fantasy, enemies to lovers. We have a night of magic that turns deadly, and we're following Iris Gray. So she vows to never let another person ever know that she's a witch. It doesn't matter that the witches' council found her innocent or that her magic was once viewed as a marvel. That night on the lake changed everything. Now settled in Washington, Iris hides who she really is and vents her frustrations by writing curses she never intends to cast. And while she loves working as the wildlife refuge she runs with her mother, she loathes Pike Adler, the witch-hating, aspiring ornithologist, I can't remember what that means, who interns with them. When Pike makes a particularly hurtful comment, Iris concocts a cruel curse for him. But just as she's about to dispel it, an owl swoops down and steals the curse before flying away from the refuge. The owl is a powerful amplifier, and if it dies, Iris's dark spell will be unleashed not only on Pike, but on everyone in the region. You also get a little bit of an adventure quest style part of the story as well. Like I said, really solid read. I enjoyed both of those. There's a third one by this author that's in my pile of not read yet, but we'll get to that in a minute. Next one is part of a trilogy, A Discovery of Witches. This is by Deborah Harkness. The AMC adaptation of this trilogy I've watched and also really enjoyed. Sorry, my garage door keeps slamming. And if you like historical fiction, and you'll love this. This was just so captivating. I love the characters. I love the history in it. I loved being in the different European cities. The time travel in here was done really well. Beautiful story of magic and witches, and one of my favorite trilogies of all time. I really enjoyed this. I have the other two, but I didn't grab them. The next one, this is a really pretty UK version. You've seen this on my channel before. It's got a pretty edging. This actually was a library copy I got like off some UK website, used book website, so that was a little disappointing, but that's okay. But this is a book about witches. It takes place in 1612. Basically, you have a woman who keeps losing her babies. They keep dying. So trigger warning for that. But a girl named Alice comes along and promises to be able to help this woman. And then you watch how the women's lives come intertwined. And it was just such a nice story. It was very intriguing. Again, like, I don't know, maybe witches are just intriguing to me, but the magic was good in here. And it was just a really unique story, in my opinion, in all the good ways. Yeah, you're kind of a race against the clock with this one as well, with the baby growing inside of her. We'll just leave it at that. So that was really good. Next one, C.J. Cook. He also has one that just got released. I can't remember the title. I'll pop it here if I can remember, or when I edit, but it's one I want to get my hands on. It just came out in October. It's another book about witches, but this is the Lighthouse Witches, and I read this, I think 2 Halloweens ago or 2 fall seasons ago. It takes place on a Scottish island. Of course, it's remote. We have 2 sisters that go missing, and then we have a fast forward timeline 20 years later. One of the sisters is found, but she's still the same age as when she disappeared. So the secrets of witches have reached across the centuries in this chilling gothic thriller from the author of the acclaimed The Nesting. When single mother Liv is commissioned to paint a mural in a 100-year-old lighthouse on a remote Scottish island, it is an opportunity to start over with her 3 daughters, Luna, Sapphire, and Clover. When 2 of her daughters go missing, she is frantic. She learns that the cave beneath the lighthouse was once a prison for women accused of witchcraft. The locals warn her about wildlings, supernatural beings who mimic human children, created by witches for revenge. Liv is told wildlings are dangerous and must be killed. 22 years later, Luna has been searching for her missing sisters and mother. When she receives a call about her youngest sister, Clover, she's initially ecstatic. Clover is the sister she remembers, except she's still 7 years old, the age she was when she vanished. Luna is worried Clover is a wildling. Luna has few memories of her time on the island, but she'll have to return to find the truth of what happened to her family. She doesn't realize just how much the truth will change her. So good. I couldn't put this one down. And then the next 2 that I own, I've actually only read one of them, The X-Hex, which I really enjoyed. I read this last year. It's more of a cozy, witchy book with a love story, very heartwarming, very fall small town, leaves changing, all the feels in that one. And this is the sequel, The Kiss Curse. I believe there's a 3rd one out that's more Christmassy, if I'm not mistaken. Haven't read this one yet, so I won't get into it, but this is the follow-up of The X-Hex. We pick up, well, I don't want to say that, because what if that spoils it? But I really had a good time with this one, so this is something I'm hoping to pick up this fall. All right. All highly recommend. Have you guys read any of those? I would love to hear down below. Okay, the 2 I have out from the library. One is called The Witcher's Orchard by Archer Sullivan. It's tagged by Kate Alice Marshall. I like her writing. I know this glare is kind of horrible. Kind of a boring cover, but pretty nonetheless if you really look at it. But this one just sounds super interesting to me. I think it just came out this year. I can't even remember. Yeah, it came out this year. I don't remember what put this on my radar. If I saw it on Instagram, I think, maybe. But we have Annie Gore, who is a former Air Force special investigator. She joined the military right out of high school, but now that her military career is over, and now she's a private investigator, and her latest case takes her to the Appalachian Holler. very similar to the area where she grew up. So 10 years prior, 3 girls in this small mountain town go missing. While one returned, the others were never seen again. After all this time without answers, the brother of one of the girls wants to hire an outsider, and he wants Annie. So Annie comes to this town to try to help him solve this. And even though this wasn't the town she was from, same vibes of where she grew up, we're dealing with some feelings coming up for Annie with that. But she can't turn down the case because she needs money. She needs this to survive. This is her livelihood. So she decides to push forward. Takes place in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Annie begins to track down the truth, navigating a decades worth of secrets, folklore of witches and crows, and a whole town that pretends to forget all these stories and secrets. But while the case may have been forgotten, echoes of the past linger, and Annie's arrival stirs someone into action. Yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. It looks like Archer Sullivan, the author, is actually from the same area. Archer's a girl. Archer Sullivan is a 9th generation Appalachian. Sorry, they're watching football. My husband has buddies over. She's moved 37 times and has lived everywhere from Kentucky, Manhattan, New York, North Carolina, Beverly Hills. Wow, she's been around a lot. But yeah, so that's kind of cool too, that she's from this area that she's writing about. I love that. So that's something I want to pick up. The next one is more of a historical fiction, I believe. It's tagged by Kate Quinn, who's the queen of historical fiction, in my opinion. This is A Resistance of Witches by Morgan Ryan, another author, which I know nothing about. This one takes place World War II. We have stubborn, plain-spoken, and from an unimpressive family, a lady named Lydia Polk never expected to be accepted into the Royal Academy of Witches. Now, with Hitler's army rampaging across Europe, the witches of Britain have joined the war effort, and Lydia is key to the cause. She must use her power to track down magical relics before Hitler can. Then a Nazi witch infiltrates the academy with heartbreaking consequences, leaving the coven shaken, exposed, and divided. The elder British witches have no interest in further loss of coven life in service of a government that has forced them into hiding for generations. But with the discovery of the Grimorium Bellum, an ancient book that leaves a trail of death and destruction wherever it goes, Lydia knows her mission has never been more urgent. Alone and outnumbered, Lydia makes her way to the heart of occupied France, where she finds allies in Rebecca, a fierce French resistance fighter, with a secret, of course, and Henry, a handsome Haitian-American art historian with a little magic of his own. Together, they traverse the country, stalked by the natural and supernatural alike, in search of the grimoire. But as Lydia soon discovers, finding the book is only half the battle. The Grimorium Bellum itself has a dark agenda. Lydia must subdue it before the witches of the Third Reich can use it, but she'll have to survive the book herself first. Doesn't that sound good? I'm so excited to read that one. All right, last pile are books I own that I have not picked up, that I want to, but, you know, I can't quit my day job, so we'll see what I get to. Another one by Rachel Griffin. I mentioned this earlier. This is Bring Me Your Midnight. That garage door is so loud. There is a beautiful map in this one. Like I told you, her naked hardcovers are just gorgeous. There's 2 hands holding on the back. So pretty. We have an awesome map as well. It says, he comes alive in darkness, so darkness I become. So in this one, I actually bought this without even knowing what it was about because of how much I love the other 2. Oh, look, we have beautiful end pages too. That's so cute. It's so pretty. Okay, is there anything in the front? Just the map? Yeah. Okay, so let's find out what this one's about together. Let's see. Tana Fairchild's fate has never been in question. Her life has been planned out since the moment she was born. She is to marry the governor's son, Landon, and secure an alliance between the witches of her island home and the mainlanders who see her very existence as a threat. All right, that's interesting. Tana's coven has appeased those who fear their power for years by releasing most of their magic into the ocean during the full moon. But when Tana misses the midnight ritual, a fatal mistake, there is no one she can turn to for help until she meets Wolf. Wolf claims he is from a coven that practices dark magic, making him one of the only people who can help her. But he refuses to let Tana's power rush into the sea and instead teaches her his forbidden magic, a magic that makes her feel powerful and alive. As the sea grows more violent, her coven loses control of the currents, a danger that could destroy the alliance as well as her island. Tana will have to choose between love and duty, between loyalty to her people and loyalty to her heart. Marrying Landon would secure peace for her coven, but losing Wolf and his wild magic could cost her everything else. Wild is when it comes a lush romantic fantasy about forbidden love, the choices we make, and the pull between duty and desire. So that sounds good. Sounds like another one I'm going to absolutely love. So there's that one. Okay, the next one that I own, have not read yet, is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, maybe, if I'm saying that right. This one is enemies to lovers. We have a witch and a witch hunter. And then I think we have, some kind of like, revolution in the streets. Witches are being outcasted. Their magic is kind of disappearing. And then I think the witch hunter falls in love with the witch. And then we kind of go from there. So I've heard good things about this. I know Rebel Witch is number 2 that's already out. It's been tagged by Rachel Gillig, Rebecca Ross. I like both of them. This is book 1. I don't know if it's going to be a duology, a trilogy, but there's that one about witches I have. This is one I told myself I would read this year. So we'll see. The Witches of Moonshine Manor. Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library really liked this book. This is Bianca Murray. I've read 2 historical fiction by her and absolutely loved her writing, loved her stories. So I'm interested in this one. In this one, we're following 5 witches that are on the older side, and they kind of are having to defend their home. The people in the town are trying to like destroy their home. I'm not sure why. But then we have Queenie, a younger witch who I think somehow enters the picture. I'm not sure. She's a feisty TikToker, eager to smash the patriarchy, it says. And as the deadline to save the manor approaches, and fractures among the sisterhood of witches is revealed, long-held secrets are exposed. So I don't know. I think this younger witch comes in and helps out and hopefully saves the day. I'm not really sure, but I've heard it's funny. I've heard it's sweet. It says, Murray's clever prose offers as much laughter as insight, delving deeply into feminism, identity, and power dynamics while stirring up intrigue and drama through secrets, lies, and sex. Heartbreaking and heart-mending, it will make you grateful for the amazing women in your life. And that just sounds all kinds of cozy and magical, and I'm really excited. And then last but not least on this list of books I own that I want to read that I have not read is A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. I bought this last October, actually, I think. We have different timelines. I think it's the same witch who has lived forever, I believe. So 1895, Juliet is 16. She begins a passionate doomed romance with the married artist. In 1932, aspiring actress Nora escapes New York for the bright lights of Hollywood and a new chance at love. 1970, we have California musician Sandra's secret love affair threatens to tear her band apart. 2012, we have Helen. She's starting to have vivid dreams about ill-fated love and lives cut short. Bound to her lover in 1895 and trapped by his side ever since, Helen has lived through multiple lifetimes under different names, never escaping her tragic endings. Only this time, she might finally have the power to break the cycle. So there you have it. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I think this cover, even though it's basic and kind of like sepia tones, I just think it is so beautiful. The clock, the dress, the flowers. This was a cover buy at first when I saw it. So it's been, if you like A Secret History of Witches, The Witch of Willow Hall, those kinds of witchy books, I think you'd really like this one. And I think that's it. Oh, and I wanted to mention, which, where the heck is it? It's all the way up there. The Witching Hour by Anne Rice is my number 1 favorite witchy book I've ever read. One of these days, I really want to reread it. It was on the possible plans for my reread of the challenge I was doing this year. I've only done 2, but The Witching Hour is such a good book. It's a chunker. It's like 1,000 pages, I think, but one of my favorites. So if you haven't checked out The Witching Hour by Anne Rice, please do. You can't go wrong. And there's also one season out of The Witching Hour. I think it's on AMC, and that was really good, and I kind of want to rewatch it, to be honest. I don't know if there's going to be a second season or not, but just wanted to let you guys know about that might be something worth checking out if you like witches. So I thought it was really well done, the first season. I really was into it. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. So do you guys tend to read scary, spooky, witchy books? Do you like more comforting, cozy witchy books? I like it all. What are some that are your favorites? Please comment down below so we can chat about it. I love getting recs from you guys. And that's it. I hope you guys are reading something amazing, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks as always for watching. Bye.